Okay, this is a quick demo of the Cairn mesh program running on the Plutos. So the left terminal SSH'd into the transmitting Pluto and the right terminal is SSH into the receiving Pluto. We're using the 1ASK continuous transmit and listen functions that Caleb originally wrote to test these, but it'll be pretty easy to abstract this to QPSK if we end up getting that working, which hopefully we do, because right now we can only reliably transfer at about 15, 16 bytes per second, which is super slow. I wanted to show you just real quick the actual continuous transmit function running, which it'll send 100 bytes, the same 100 bytes over and over again. And then over here, we can run the listen program. And there you go. It honestly, it doesn't always run that fast, but the way it works is it looks for these first 2 bytes as kind of that sync key, so it knows that a message just follows. And then this third byte is the length that it's going to receive, and then it'll print the message out. Sometimes I'll run it again. Sometimes it doesn't. It takes a few times even after it finds that sync key. And we think that that happens because, and it didn't even get all the bytes that time. We think that happens because the full 100 bytes of the message won't always be in the buffer. Like those first 3 bytes might be there, but the rest of the message won't be in that same buffer. So it's kind of luck of the draw to find it there. Anyways, in the Cairn program, we didn't use 100 bytes, even though this is relatively reliable. We use 70 bytes. So I'll show you that now. On this side, we'll run. Let's see. Okay, so the left side is going to be sending again, and it's going to send. Actually, I'll show you real quick. It's going to transmit this file. It's 100 lines. The first 50 lines and the second 50 lines are the same, but each line is 11 bytes if you include the new line character. So it's a total of 1100 bytes. It's going to transfer over here. I think I need to actually remove the old one. So test file 2 is what it's gonna create that and then copy it. It's gonna write into it, and then I'll diff them at the end to see if it was a successful file transfer. So okay. Okay, so here's the receiver getting ready. I don't know how I found anything, but anyways, now we start. So it sends each packet for 4 seconds because we're not using AX right now. And 4 seconds is kind of long, but it pretty much guarantees that we're going to receive that packet. So that's why for each packet, it waits like 4 seconds. And it's just continuously transmitting that packet. And then on the receiving side, we're printing a bunch of stuff. Basically, when it receives a new packet ID, it'll say received this ID. And then if it receives that same ID again, it'll say like, it'll print out that found in those 3 bytes, but then it'll throw it away. It won't rewrite it, obviously. And so there are 18 packets in this, just because we're setting 70 bytes at a time, and there's 1100 bytes total. So when it's done, I'll diff the 2 files, and we'll see if the file transfer was a success. I did try this with like 100 bytes and then continuously transmitting for different periods of time, like 5 seconds or 2 seconds. I was able to do 2 seconds with 100 bytes, but it didn't happen very often. It wasn't a complete success very often. Okay, so on the left, you can see it hit EOF. So it's done. So I'll diff test file, which was the original, and test file 2, which is the new one. Hopefully they're the same. but they're not. But that's not too bad actually. So it messed up 1 byte here, messed up 1 byte here, and it messed up 1 byte here. So all in all, it messed up 3 bytes out of 1100. That's not terrible. But in order to actually make this work, we might have to go to using Axe, even though that will probably more than halve our throughput. It'll be more reliable. Anyways, we're also still working on that QPSK, which will be another update you'll get from us on this DBT too. All right, that's all. Thanks.